Hi, my name is Dan Mackey, and I'm an EWI player here in South Carolina. And the topic of this video today is the installation of the sample modeling SWAM engine instruments into a Muse receptor. Mine is a Receptor2 Plus running the AMD processors. And the first thing we're going to do is go down to the receptor remote control software, click on this, and this will open up. And it's going to look for my receptor, which is out on the network cable, and we're going to open up the receptor viewer. And that brings us up in mixer mode. And we're going to go to setup and look at some of the things right now. You're at 44.1 kilohertz at 128 sample buffer, which is the default setting for the receptor, and this is going to work just fine for these. We also have our install area over here and some of the network things right now. I'm on the crossover network, though it's working quite well. Fortunately for a Mac, you don't need a crossover cable, so I'm able to get that to work right now anyway. So now we're going to go into the Finder. I've got a Finder folder open right here. And we're going to go to that, and you'll see that I have Receptor 1 here. And click on that, and this is going to allow us to get into the receptor hard drive and get that open. Now we're going to go back down to downloads, and I have a set of files here. I'm going to open that up in a Finder window, and I have a folder called PC SWAM New, and this is a folder that has my installers for what I want to do, and I think I'm going to grab the saxophones this time. And all of this is in this package right here. So we're going to click on this. We're going to drag it over to the drop installers here. And that's now going to copy that over for a couple of seconds anyway. And we can close this window out. Okay, now that that's done, if we go back and we can shut this window out too or hide it. And we look back at our mixer mode again on our setup page, and now in the install area we have install one file, which has come up. So we're going to click on that. And it's going to bring up this setup. And okay, so am I going to close all of our applications? That's fine. So click next to continue. And then you get the license agreement. We'll go over here and accept that. Click next. Now we'll go look for the VST plugin folder. If we do browse on the receptor, down here we see VST plugins, and we select that and we click OK. That now comes up to this window, so now we're ready to go next. And I am not running Pro Tools out of my receptor, so I'm not going to select this option, but it will select the VST 2.4 plugins. And that's fine, that's checked. If not, check it, and then click Next. And Setup will create the program shortcuts in the following Start menu, and that's all fine, so click Next here. And click to install, and we hit Install. It uninstalls the previous, and this is going to overwrite. The licensing numbers are already installed, and I can't get that to come up and show you that process. That's an offline process, and there are PDF manuals that give you everything that you need to know to deal with that. Okay, click Finish. And now the next thing we have to do is the run utility. Select this and do a refresh on plugins, and this will allow the receptor to identify and accept them and place them in its database. Click this and click proceed. This is going to go through all of the plugins that are on the receptor and just refresh them, refresh the database location, add anything that is there. And it looks like we've finished. We've had no problems on the install. So we're going to click done. This takes us back to mixer mode. Now what we'll do is we'll go back to the mix button and come up to the front end of the receptor's mixer. And we can go into just the plugin source here, and we're going to click on the none, and we're going to look down and we can see we have an alto sax, a baritone sax, and down here we'll have, it's going to be, where's the soprano going to show up? It's going to be showing up right there, and then we have the tenor saxophone here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just select the soprano sax just for fun, click on that, and that is going to place that in our first channel slot here on the mixer, and it's at MIDI channel 1 already, which is fine because that's what the EWI is going to transmit on. I'm going to hit the plugin button, and it brings up the graphical user interface. Now I'm going to grab the EWI real quickly and just play a couple of notes. And that's all well and good. Now that's set at the default for keyboard control. And what we're going to do is we're going to click load up here. And what this is going to do is show us that there are wind controller setups for an EWI-like device. And so we're going to click open. And this should give us a little more dynamic control. And that's the soprano saxophone. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back here, and I'm just going to go back to none on this and clear that, and then we'll load an alto saxophone. And go back up top side to the plugin, and we're going to again load in wind control and close and come back to the EWI. Okay, while we're here, we're going to look at, you have instrument down here, it has sax 0 flat. We have a bunch of different variations. Here is sax 1. Step through these a little bit. And they have different characters of sounds. Let's go down to, go to a warm one. And there are adjustments for key noise, breath noise. It can take the key noise down a little bit. It's obvious on some of it's obvious on a few others. Okay, so that's the alto sax. So we're going to go back in and dump that out. And we're going to go down to the tenor down here. and do the same thing. Load it in, go back up here, and we're going to, again, load wind controller. The breath controller is if you have a BC2 from Yamaha, and I think it also might work a little better with the WX series controllers. I'm not absolutely sure on that, but I know the wind controller is designed for the Iwi series from Akai. And so here's the tenor. And that's just a flat version of the tenor. Let's go to something else here. It's a brighter one. And we're going to go down and do one more saxophone. We're going to do the baritone, which will complete the set. So let's go back to mixer mode. And we will dump this guy out and go into baritone saxophone. And go in and load our wind controller settings again. And again, that's a flat one. Let's grab a different variation. That one's dry with nothing on it. And that pretty much has the installation and what some of the instruments sound like. And thank you very much for viewing this video. And there will be more things coming as we go over into the rack mode and live play and working with program change setup for those things. So those are things coming up in future videos. Thanks once again for watching. Have a good day.